Persons anticipating on the agenda are present and can hear me. Peg Zielinski,
Yes.
Lou George,
Yes.
and Attorney McCann.
Yes.
Great. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Josh Morris.
Present.
Terrific. This open meeting of the Danvers Planning Board is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of the public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which can be found posted on the town's website, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. The meeting of the planning board is convened remotely via the Teams app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Supporting materials that have been provided members of this body will be shown during this transmission. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. We're now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to assure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, question, or motions. Please hold until your name is called further. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If a member wishes to converse with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. For items with public comments, we have established an email address for public comments publiccomments@danversmass.gov. This email address is shown online with the streaming of this meeting. Residents may email comments and they will be read out loud after staff has confirmed their names and address. All emails must contain the date and phrase planning board meeting in the subject line. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting this afternoon will be conducted by roll call vote. So if we can turn to the agenda of our April 27th, 2021 planning board meeting. 55 Pickering Street, request by the Thompson Companies LLC for endorsement of a Form A plan to divide the existing parcel and create 3 new lots at 55 Pickering Street, Assessors Map 42, Lot 165. Attorney McCann.
Thank you very much. My name is Nancy McCann. I'm here on behalf of the applicant Thompson Companies LLC, and we are requesting A&R endorsement of the A&R plan that was submitted with the application. The property located at 55 Pickering Street is a large lot. It's located in the R1 zoning district, but it has almost 60,000 square feet of area. There's an existing home that's located to the left side of the lot, and the proposal is to divide the property into 3 lots. Each of the lots will have well in excess of the 10,000 square feet. 2 of the lots, the first lot that has the existing home on it and the third lot, each have 80 feet of frontage as is required in the R1 zoning district. The center lot, lot 2, has 77.25 feet of frontage. So it's 2 3/4 feet short of the required 80 feet of frontage in the R1 district. It has plenty of area with over 20,000 square feet. So we did go to the Board of Appeals and we secured a frontage variance for the 2.75 feet that we were short on that middle lot. So we do have 3 buildable lots based on that variance, and we are requesting A&R endorsement of the plan as presented. I did also request, after consultation with Josh, I did request also that the planning board waive the frontage requirement as the planning board can do under the subdivision control law, because we don't have 80 feet of frontage, we have 77.25 feet of frontage, but the planning board is able to waive that frontage requirement. Some towns go through that process. Danvers never has, quite honestly. Danvers has always relied on the frontage variance granted by the Board of Appeals, but there are a line of cases that indicate that you should also, in addition to making the lot buildable by the Board of Appeals frontage variance, during the A&R process, you should also have the planning board, under the subdivision control law, waive the frontage, the 80-foot frontage requirement to allow, in this case, 77.25 feet of frontage. And it is appropriate in this case, particularly this is on a frontage on a public way. It's certainly adequate. It meets the intent of the subdivision control law, which is to provide adequate access to the site. So we're requesting, as is typical, A&R plan endorsement, and then we've also asked for the frontage waiver as an administrative act of the planning board. And that's all I have. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, Lou, why don't we start with you?
Okay, just I guess a question I have with respect to the frontage waiver by the ZBA. That looks like that was voted on at the end of March. Was there any at the meeting? Was there any sort of any community comment? Any neighborhood neighbors commenting with respect to this?
Yes, we did have 2 neighbors. One at 52 Pickering was in favor. She said she had lived there her whole life and she was in favor. Another, Patrick and Veronica Cox, also indicated it would be nice to divide it. So we had no opposition, but a couple of neighbors speaking in favor.
Okay. And so, Attorney McCann, if you can just help me out just a little bit in terms of understanding. So you're requesting that this go through just the regular, the A&R, and there was a, the Board of Appeals approved the frontage, the frontage variance, but then with respect to, I'm just a little unclear in terms of what we need to do with. So is what you're asking us to do is to, in essence, affirm the ZBA finding, or making sort of an independent finding with respect to the frontage?
What we're requesting is it's technically a separate decision, and it's a waiver under the subdivision control law. The variance is under the zoning bylaw, under the Zoning Act. And the subdivision control law and the Zoning Act, while they work together, they're really separate, as you know. So the subdivision control law, for an A&R endorsement, you're endorsing the plan saying that the frontage, the required frontage is provided. Well, in this case, it's provided, but it's not 80 feet, it's 77.25 feet. And again, what Danvers has historically done is said, well, the Board of Appeals has granted the variance, and therefore the required frontage is really what the Board of Appeals has said, the 77.25 feet. And therefore the planning board has historically endorsed the plan based on the ZBA frontage. But again, there's a line of cases in some case law that says that really they're separate, and the planning board ought to grant its own waiver, finding that the intent and purpose of the subdivision control law, which is adequate access, is provided, and therefore the waiver can be granted.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so have you made this, I guess historically, have you made this request before?
Not in Danvers. I have in other communities. Danvers has not done it this way before.
Okay.
I've had the conversation with past building inspectors and planners, and that's just the way Danvers has done it, but I have in other communities, yeah.
Okay. What additional protection does that provide? Does that provide you?
It doesn't provide us with any, because the buildability is decided by the ZBA.
Mm-hmm.
And what it does is it allows the plan to be recorded.
Okay.
If you don't endorse the plan, then we can't record the plan. It doesn't create a buildable lot. That was done by the ZBA, but it's kind of a technical, step that it allows you to endorse the plan, and then we can record the plan, because we can't record the plan without endorsing it.
What would you say is our standard of review of that sort of what's the what would you say our discretion would be in terms of granting that waiver?
Yeah, the cases are pretty clear. The standard is that the waiver is not inconsistent with the intent and purpose of the subdivision control law. And the intent and purpose of the subdivision control law is to make sure that lots have adequate access, that emergency vehicles can get to them, that the access is adequate. If this were some sort of an odd configuration, these are very regular lots with sufficient frontage, but if this were some kind of an odd configuration that the planning board looks at this and says emergency vehicles couldn't get into this lot because of how short the frontage is, therefore we don't feel the intent of the subdivision control law is met, therefore we could deny the waiver.
I see. So arguably you could have a situation where the Board of Appeals grants the variance, but then the planning board, in our discretion, could deny it.
Theoretically, you could, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't have any further questions. I'd be interested to see what the other members of the board have, if they have any other further questions on this, as well as staff on this question. That's just the only thing that sort of I have no concerns aside from that, just sort of the technical waiver piece. Thanks.
Understood. Peg, questions?
I don't really have any more questions. I was concerned about the neighbors on either side, and it seems that Mrs. McCann has met with them, talked with them, and they were at the Board of Appeals when the Board of Appeals approved and gave the waiver. So I really don't have any questions. It looks pretty straightforward. And I don't have a problem with supporting a waiver for the subdivision on the technical side, as Board of Appeals has already done their actions. So I don't have a problem with the waiver.
Okay, Josh, since in your summary sheet, this waiver wasn't addressed, I mean, I would assume the staff is comfortable with
Yes,
it.
yes.
Was there anyone from the public that wanted to speak out or speak on this matter?
No.
Okay. So is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I move we close the public hearing for 55 Pickering Street.
I second that.
Okay, there's a first and a second. Roll call vote. Peg?
Yes.
Lou?
Yes.
And I'm in favor as well. So is there a motion to accept the A&R plan as presented, including the frontage waiver? Can that be done under one motion, or are we doing two motions?
It's fine. I think it might make sense to have two, but that's fine. Two might be better. Separate.
All right, so why don't we do a motion for the approval of the A&R plan? Well, let's start with the frontage waiver. That might be the easiest way. Is there a motion to accept the frontage waiver request by the applicant?
So moved.
I second it.
Okay, roll call vote. Peg, obviously.
Yep. Yes.
Lou?
Yes.
And I'm in favor of that waiver as well. Now, is there a motion to accept the A&R plan as presented by the applicant, understanding we also provided a waiver of the frontage?
So moved.
Second,
Roll call, Lou,
Yes.
Peg,
yes.
and I'm in favor as well. So any other matters on this particular item? I know these plans like to be signed.
Yep.
I'm
can,
around tomorrow,
Okay.
but I'm not here on, well, I'm only around on Thursday morning. I'm here tomorrow and Thursday morning.
Very good. I might have to do, yeah, I might have to get Peg to sign. Peg will have to sign this one, but we could work it out.
Yep,
Peg,
I will.
very
Yep.
good.
I'm pretty flexible as well.
Very good.
Yep.
I'll reach out to the group.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
You're
Appreciate your
welcome.
time today.
Yep. Have a good day.
Thank you.
So the second agenda item is 74 Holton Street, request for site plan approval submitted by Danny Sakira.
I think it's
for
secure.
prop-
Yep.
Sakura, okay,
Yes,
for property at 74 Holton pursuant to section 4 of the zoning bylaw. Said property is the industrial 1-1 and Tapleyville overlay zoning district. The applicant is proposing to modify the landscaping and parking. The applicant has asked for a continuation without discussion to the May 11th, 2021 meeting. So Josh,
Yep.
I know this is like the fifth time
Yep.
we've done this. Is
Yep.
anything new that
Yeah.
we need to be aware of?
So I did contact him. I think he's having, I think, issues with his development team a little bit in terms of, I don't know if it's a communication thing, but him and his engineer who actually put this plan together in October, November, they just need to, I don't know if he just indicated that he's been in correspondence with him, but I guess the plans haven't been modified. You know, I'm trying not to get too much into it, but they're just not ready. I did, you know, the applicant, Danny, did indicate that he is very interested in moving this project forward. So if he has to go another avenue to get the plans modified, he indicated that he might have to do that soon. So I guess that's all I have for that one. But I have been in contact with him. I was going to reach out to him today or tomorrow. It's just one of those things. He's like a contractor, so I think, you know, just during the day and stuff. You know, he's like busy during the day, so that, you know, that's his day job, and this is, you know, just one of his projects. So I've been trying to make it move along, you know, in like a polite way as much as possible. So
Okay.
yeah, obviously at some point, maybe in the near future, and we might get to the point very soon, maybe we ask him to potentially, we've internally discussed about asking him to potentially maybe withdraw and then maybe apply again when, you know, when the project's ready. So that's something that I think we might be getting to soon, to that point. So
that was my question. How often
Sure.
can we do this before it's?
yeah, I mean, I don't think there's like a technical, like legal, I think we're getting to that point pretty soon, to be honest. I don't think there's like a legal or technical, you can only continue, you know, so many times. There's not like a limit, but I mean, clearly this has been advertised, you know, several months ago. It was supposed to be discussed first in January. So I'll reach out to the applicant in the next few days and just kind of let him know that, you know, in terms of the board, you know, we're looking for some type of action. So I guess that's what I could say on that item.
Okay, is there a motion or is there any other discussion from the board members?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I had a question just with respect to this.
Yep, go ahead, Lou.
To this, yeah, just in terms of, and Josh, perhaps you can help me here. I'm not sure. Do you know what our level of discretion is? I know, for example, if, you know, in terms of continuing things, I know
Yep.
from my own practice as an attorney, when you're in court, there's only so many times that you can continue something, and sometimes the judge will issue what we call a drop dead order, which says that in essence, if we're granting this is your last extension, barring extraordinary circumstances, or in
Sure.
essence, if we're granting this one, but if you need another one, you need to show, you need to, in essence, show up before the board,
Sure.
and in essence, show cause.
Sure. I'm not sure we have that type of discretion,
Mhm.
but I can articulate to the applicant, his standing. The situation is, serious isn't the word, but the board is frustrated with, with the kind of movement on this, and that it might be prudent to withdraw the application and then start, advertise. You'd have to just advertise again and to start anew once a plan has been put together. But I can articulate this to him, and we'll see where it goes.
What does he lose if he does withdraw? What I guess what?
Yeah, it was
what does he suffer?
just sort of timing. I mean, sort of timing, and just it would have to be advertised in the paper again.
Okay.
So in terms of financial, it's probably somewhere like in the $200 to $300 range, just to advertise it in the newspaper.
Sure.
But that's probably it. It'll be sent around to abutters, but we do that right now. So
Okay. I have no further questions. Just, I mean, I'd be supportive of continuing it, though, again, with sort of the caveat that it should be, made clear to the applicant that, at least as far as myself, the patience is running a little thin.
sure, or at least have at least even if the maybe I could at least invite him to the next meeting and have him. Maybe even if at the May 11th meeting, I could advocate strongly that him appearing, whether the item is discussed or not, he could at least himself tell the group like what's happening. Maybe that might not be that might be the best way to go.
Yeah,
I think. So
I'd like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Peg, questions?
I don't have any questions for this, but I do think it's dragging on too long. And I think that if we can approve the applicant's request to continue until May 11th, that we also include something in there. I don't know, Josh, can we include something in there that says a suggestion to withdraw if they're not going to be able to?
I can verbally let him know that that's probably where
Okay.
we're at. So the information can be communicated to him.
Okay.
So, yep.
That's it. That's all I have, John.
Yeah, no, I like that idea, Josh. Just so for the benefit of the
Sure.
minutes, okay, you can tell them that the majority of the board feels this has gone on long enough.
Sure.
So,
Yep. I have no problem doing that.
all right. So with that, can I get a motion to extend to a May 11th, 2021 meeting?
I move that we extend 74 Holton Street to May 11th, 2021.
Yeah, second that motion.
Okay. Roll call vote. Peg,
Yes.
Lou,
Yes.
and I'm in favor as well. Josh, any other matters for the board? Can you give us a sense of what you
Sure.
think May is looking like?
Yeah, May 11th is looking like May 11th is going to be a pretty busy meeting. Yes, so there will be some of the applications we have. There's at 11 Newbury Street, the Costco gas station is expanding. That will be discussed on May 11th. Also, at 139 Endicott Street, or the Endicott Plaza or the Market Basket Plaza, they are proposing some parking lot modifications. The item we just discussed, hopefully 74 Holton. And then also, there might also be another potential application. It's 5 Cherry Hill Drive, Little Gym. It was they received a change of use from the ZBA to put this use at 5 Cherry Hill Drive in the office building. They need a minor modification for a change of use. So there's potentially 4 items on that meeting. So it could be a busy one, but that might change, obviously, but where we stand today.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that's helpful to know.
Yeah.
Given that there's nothing else for our formal agenda, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All right. Well, stay safe, everyone.
Yes,
and
you too.
You too.